What's an interview? The interview is the intercom of a question of an interview. Good afternoon, man.
Hello, sir. Are you here for the interview as well?
No, I'm here for the CEO naming ceremony. The CEO just got twist. Asking me foolish question. Is it that interview you come for? What's the interview?
Sorry, I was...
Oga, please, I beg, don't face what you come here for. What did you prove that? Not be interview you come for. No, I come here for CEO wey keep me.
So, you both know why you are here. We need a very good painter for the renovation of our company. Eh? And I understand we believe well that you guys have been briefed earlier.
Yes, that's okay.
So, Mr. Shaggy.
Yeah, number 5
You go first.
Thank you for the honor, but ladies first. I said, okay, you know what? It's fine. No problem. That's a small thing. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you, panel of judges and my co-employers. When I enter this office, I watch the visibility. That's the arena. I see that this place needs a touching of our paint. By the time we paint it, you will see the difference. Okay, so but one, now the paint I want to use is not normal paint in Nigeria. It's from China.
Excuse me.
Hey, don't worry, I know you know do it. It's the paint. That paint is the paint I use for big places. If you go to Methodist Guest, that's where I finished from. Even when I was Methodist Guest, it's me that do it, boy. It's me, yeah. So I use it for the headquarters of my church. Different big places is the paint I use.
Mr. Martins, your turn.
Go on, Fifi.
Thank you, sir. We use Berger Premium Paints for all our projects. The advantages of Berger Premium Paints are as follows. 1. Superior durability. You don't need to repaint often. 2. High spreading rate. Small quantity of paint can cover very large areas. 3. Very distinctive finishing. And number 4. Wider color range. Hence, you can express your personality and distinctiveness using colors. We will also be executing the project using Berger Swift Painting. Berger Swift Painting is an innovative service from Berger Paints. The service offers safer, neater, quicker, and smoother painting. Our products are available for purchase online via the company's website. You can now order while we deliver to your doorsteps. Sir, with Berger Paints, you're rest assured of a fantastic job. No disappointments.
Very good.
Yes.
Brilliant and smart.
Sir, sir, I know you have gotten the job. I can join him to do labor work.
Get this straight now!
If I give you my number, if you come later, I can be paid well. What's an interview? The interview is the intercom of a question of an interview. Good afternoon, man.
Hello, sir. Are you here for the interview as well?
No, I'm here for the CEO naming ceremony. The CEO just got twist. Asking me foolish question. Is it that interview you come for? What's the interview?
Sorry, I was...
Oga, please, I beg, don't face what you come here for. What did you prove that? Not be interview you come for. No, I come here for CEO wey keep me.
So, you both know why you are here. We need a very good painter for the renovation of our company. Eh? And I understand we believe well that you guys have been briefed earlier.
Yes, that's okay.
So, Mr. Shaggy.
Yeah, number 5
You go first.
Thank you for the honor, but ladies first. I said, okay, you know what? It's fine. No problem. That's a small thing. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you, panel of judges and my co-employers. When I enter this office, I watch the visibility. That's the arena. I see that this place needs a touching of our paint. By the time we paint it, you will see the difference. Okay, so but one, now the paint I want to use is not normal paint in Nigeria. It's from China.
Excuse me.
Hey, don't worry, I know you know do it. It's the paint. That paint is the paint I use for big places. If you go to Methodist Guest, that's where I finished from. Even when I was Methodist Guest, it's me that do it, boy. It's me, yeah. So I use it for the headquarters of my church. Different big places is the paint I use.
Mr. Martins, Your turn.
Go on, Fifi.
Thank you, sir. We use Berger premium paints for all our projects. The advantages of Berger premium paints are as follows. 1. Superior durability. You don't need to repaint often. 2. High spreading rate. Small quantity of paint can cover very large areas. 3. Very distinctive finishing. And number 4. Wider color range. Hence, you can express your personality and distinctiveness using colors. We will also be executing the project using Berger Swift Painting. Berger Swift Painting is an innovative service from Berger Paints. The service offers safer, neater, quicker, and smoother painting. Our products are available for purchase online via the company's website. You can now order while we deliver to your doorsteps. Sir, with Berger Paints, you're rest assured of a fantastic job. No disappointments.
Very good.
Yes.
Brilliant and smart.
Sir, see, okay, sir, I know you have gotten the job. I can join him to do labor work.
Get this security now!
And for me, I'll give you my number. If you come later, I can be paid well. What's an interview? The interview is the intercom of a question of an interview. Good afternoon, man.
Hello, sir. Are you here for the interview as well?
No, I'm here for the CEO naming ceremony. The CEO just got twist. Asking me foolish question. Is it that interview you come for? What's the interview?
Sorry, I was...
Oga, please, I beg, don't face what you come here for. What is the problem that? Not the interview you come for. No, I come here for CEO wey keep me.
So, you both know why you are here. We need a very good painter for the renovation of our company. And I understand vividly well that you guys have been briefed earlier.
Yes, that's okay. That fell.
So, Mr. Shaggy.
Yeah, number 5 Berger.
You go first.
Thank you for the honor, but ladies first. I said, okay, you know what? It's fine. No problem. That's a small thing. All right. Thank you very much, Shaku Timekeeper, panel of judges, and my co-employers. When I enter this office, I watch the visibility. That's the arena. I see that this place needs a touching of our paint. By the time we paint it, you will see the difference. Okay? So, but one, now the paint I want to use is not normal paint in Nigeria. It's from China.
Excuse me.
Hey, don't worry. I know you know do it. It's the paint. That paint is the paint I use for big places. If you go to Methodist Girls, that's the school I finished from. Even when I was Methodist Girl, it's me that do it, boy. It's me, yeah. So I use it for the headquarters of my church. Different big places is the paint I use.
Mr. Martins, your turn.
Go on, Fifi.
Thank you, sir. We use Berger premium paints for all our projects. The advantages of Berger premium paints are as follows. 1. Superior durability. You don't need to repaint often. 2. High spreading rate. Small quantity of paint can cover very large areas. 3. Distinctive finishing. And number 4. Wider color range. Hence, you can express your personality and distinctiveness using colors. We will also be executing the project using Berger. Berger Swift Painting is an innovative service from Berger Paints. The neater, quicker, and smoother painting. Our products are available for purchase online.
And I understand vividly well that you guys have been briefed earlier.
Yes, that's
okay.
That fell.
So, Mr. Shaggy.
Yeah, number 5 Berger.
You go.
Distinguished shareholders, ladies and gentlemen, the time is now 10 a.m. and it is with great pleasure that I welcome you all to the 62nd Annual General Meeting of our company, which, having been properly convened with sufficient quorum as confirmed by the registrars, I now declare open. Before the business of the day, will someone please lead us in a short opening prayer?
O Lord, our Heavenly Father, we thank you for bringing us together today to deliberate on the progress of our company, Berger Nigeria PLC. We thank you for the journey so far. We thank you for where you are bringing us from and where you are taking us to. Please accept our praise in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. As we shall be deliberating today, let your spirit and your spirit alone guide all our deliberations. And at the end of the meeting, let us have cause to glorify your holy name when we pray in the name of our Redeemer, Jesus Christ. Amen. Thank you, Jesus.
Thank you, Chief. May I invite Mrs. Neka Sholala, our Health, Safety and Environment Officer, to give us a safety briefing on the conduct of this AGM.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Berger Paint. I'm here to give us the safety brief for today. At your rear, we have the emergency exits. In case of any emergency, please do not panic if you hear the alarm. There's no planned drill for today. We have safety champions who are within the facility who will be putting on this reflective jacket. They will be present to lead you to the emergency muster point. Also, in case you need to use the convenience, you'll be using the exit to my right. You proceed and turn right. You see clearly labeled the female and the male gents. Please do have a safe stay. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Sholala. Can I crave the indulgence of the House to perhaps conduct the meeting sitting down? Sure. Yes, please. Thank you very much. As you're all aware, due to the COVID-19 pandemic and by the guidelines of the Corporate Affairs Commission on holding annual general meetings of public companies using proxies, this AGM is being held by proxy. I will now move on to introducing some of the people present for this event. Since the last annual general meeting, Mr. Victor Olusegun Adeniji resigned and Mr. Anjan Serka retired from the board as MD CEO, having completed his 3-year tenure. We appreciate the efforts of the aforementioned to the company. In line with our robust succession policy, the board appointed Mr. Adeyemi Adetomiwa as acting managing director, effective January 5th, 2022. Additionally, Mr. Onyebuchi Roberts has recently joined us as Chief Financial Officer. I confirm that the Register of Directors shareholding is available for inspection by members in compliance with the provisions of Section 301, subsection 8 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act, CAMA 2020, and that this can be examined at the registrar's table. Before moving to the formal aspects of the meeting, I would like to introduce the directors and secretary. On my extreme right, we have Mr. Raj Mangtani, non-executive director. Next to him is Mrs. Ogechi Iheanacho. Next to her is our acting managing director, Mr. Adeyemi Adetomiwa. On my extreme left, we have Mr. Kunle Olowokonde. Also joining us virtually are Mrs. Erejo Agbadebo and Mrs. Aisha Umar. I am Mr. Abiyaida, your chairman. And Mr. Ayokunle Ayoku is our company secretary, legal advisor. I want to also introduce the representatives of the Statutory Audit Committee. They are Mr. Chibuzo Eke, the chairman of the committee, Mrs. Mary Shofolao, and Mr. Taiwo Afinju. Also, we have the representatives of our external auditors, KPMG Professional Services, Mr. Adegoke Oyelami and Mr. Emeka Elukeme. Representative of our board appraisers, Messrs. DCSL, Mrs. Anne Agbo, and Ms. Toyosi Afolabi. And representative of our registrars, Meristem registrars, Mrs. Mubo Olashoko. I would also like to recognize the presence of Mr. Chidi Okoronkwo of the Nigerian Exchange Limited and the representative of the Securities Exchange Commission, Mr. Stephen Iyenagbe, who has joined us virtually. Furthermore, we recognize the presence of the following shareholders, proxies who are present in the hall. Chief Timothy Adesina, Mrs. Bisi Bakare, Mr. Lawrence Ogutoye, and we are expecting Sir Sunday Wosu. We acknowledge all the shareholders, staff of our company, Berger business partners, members of the press, and other stakeholders who are viewing this meeting via our website and YouTube and who are unable to be physically present here. I thank you all for your usual decorum at our meetings and wish to appeal to any member who wishes to ask a question, make comments, move or second the motion to please raise his or her hand and the microphone will be provided to you. May I call on the company secretary legal advisor to read the notice convening this meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll now go ahead and read the notice of the AGM. Notice is hereby given that the 62nd Annual General Meeting of Berger Paints Nigeria PLC will be held by proxy at the company's head office at 102 Oba Akran Avenue, Ikeja, Lagos State, on Thursday, May 19, 2022, at 10 a.m. or so soon thereafter, to transact the following business. Ordinary business. 1, to receive the audited financial statements for the year ended 31st December 2021, together with the reports of the directors, auditors, board appraisers, and audit committee thereon. 2, to declare a dividend. 3, to re-elect the following directors retiring by rotation. A, Mr. Raj Maktani. B, Mrs. Ogechi Hihianacho. Number 4, to authorize the directors to fix the remuneration of the auditors. Number 5, to disclose the remuneration of the managers of the company. And number 6, to elect members of the audit committee. Special business. Number 7, to consider and if thought fit, pass the following resolution as an ordinary resolution of the company. That in compliance with the rules of the Nigerian Exchange Limited, governing transactions with related parties or interested persons, the company be granted a general mandate in respect of all recurrent transactions entered into with a related party or interested person, provided such transactions are of a revenue or trading nature or are necessary for the company's day-to-day operations. This mandate shall commence on the date on which this resolution is passed and shall continue to operate until the date on which the next annual general meeting of the company is held. Number 8, to consider and if thought fit, pass the following as special resolutions. 8.1, that pursuant to Section 131 and other applicable provisions, if any, of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020, Section 13 of the Companies Regulations 2021, and Article 47 of the Articles of Association of the company, that the authorized share capital of the company be and is hereby reduced from 400 million naira divided into 800 million ordinary shares of 50 kobo each, to 144,911,724 million naira, divided into 289,823,448 ordinary shares of 50 kobo each, by cancelling 510,176,552 ordinary shares of 50 kobo each, which have not been issued. 8.2, that pursuant to Section 124 of CAMA 2020, the company be and is hereby authorized to take all necessary steps to ensure that the memorandum and articles of association of the company are altered to comply with Resolution 8.1 above, including replacing the provisions of the authorized share capital with the issued share capital, and amending Clause 6 of the memorandum of association of the company as follows. The share capital of the company is 144,911,724 naira, divided into 289,823,448 shares of each. 8.3, that the board and management is hereby authorized to perform all acts and to do all such other things as may be necessary for or incidental to giving effect to resolutions 8.1 and 8.2 above, including but not limited to carrying out any actions that may be necessary to comply with any legislation, execute agreements, appointing consultants and advisors, and complying with the directives of regulatory bodies and government bodies. 9, to consider and if thought fit, pass a special resolution of the company the amendment of the articles of association of the company as detailed below. 9.1, that Article 48 be reworded to read as follows. The company shall, in each calendar year, hold the general meeting as its annual general meeting, in addition to any other meetings in that year, and shall specify the meeting as such in the notice calling for it. And not more than 15 months shall elapse between the date of one annual general meeting of the company and that of the next. The annual general meeting shall be held at such place and time as the director shall appoint. The company may hold a virtual, hybrid, or a proxy general meeting, where it will be impossible to hold the general meeting due to government laws, policies, regulations, pandemic, or any related reasons. 9.2, the Article 51 be amended by the creation of a new sub-Article 51C to read as follows. The annual reports and accounts and or other reports, documents, and information related to any business to be transacted at a general meeting of the company may be distributed or circulated electronically to members and persons entitled to receive them. 9.3, the Article 53 be reworded to read as follows. All businesses transacted at annual general meetings are deemed special business, except declaring a dividend, presentation of the financial statements and the reports of the directors and auditors, the election of directors in the place of those retiring, the appointment, fixing of the remuneration of the auditors, appointment of members of the audit committee, and disclosure of remuneration of managers of a company, which are ordinary business. 9.4, the Article 80 be reworded to read as follows. The directors may exercise all the powers of the company to borrow money and to mortgage or charges undertaken, property and uncalled capital, or any part thereof, and to issue debentures, debenture stock, and other securities, whether outright or as security for any debt, liability, or obligation of the company, or of any third party, provided that the amount for the time being remaining undischarged of money borrowed or secured by or on behalf of the company, apart from temporary loans obtained from the company's bankers in the ordinary course of business, shall not at any time exceed 500 million naira, except with the approval of the general meeting. 9.5, that the board and management are hereby authorized to perform all acts and to do all such other things as may be necessary for or incidental to giving effect to resolutions 9.1 to 9.4 above, including but not limited to carrying out any actions as may be necessary to comply with legislation, execute agreements, appoint consultants and advisors, and comply with the directives of the regulatory authorities and government bodies. By order of the board, Ayokunle Ayoko.
Thank you very much. Independent Auditor's Report to the shareholders of Berger Paints Nigeria PLC. Report on the audit of the financial statements. Opinion. We have audited the financial statement of Berger Paints Nigeria PLC the company, which comprised the statement of financial position as at 31st December 2021, the statement of profits or loss and other comprehensive income, the statement of changes in equity, the statement of cash flows for the year then ended, and the notes comprising significant accounting policies and other explanatory information. In our opinion, the accompanying financial statement gives a true and fair view of the financial position of the company as at 31st December 2021 and of its financial performance and its cash flow for the year then ended in accordance with International Financial Reporting Standard and in the manner required by the Companies and Allied Matters Act, CAMA 2020, and the Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria Act 2021. I now go to the to page 60 of the report. Report on other legal and regulatory requirements. Compliance with the requirement of Schedule 5 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act, CAMA 2020. We have obtained all the information and explanation which, to the best of our knowledge and belief, were necessary for the purpose of the audit. In our opinion, proper books of account have been kept by the company so as far as appears from our examination of those books. The company's statement of financial position and statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income are in agreement with the books of account. Signed by myself on behalf of KPMG. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I now call on the chairman of the Statutory Audit Committee to present the report of the Audit Committee, which has been included on page 52 of the annual report and accounts.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, fellow distinguished shareholders, the regulatory authorities here present. I say good morning. Okay, like Chairman rightly announced, the report is on the report of the Audit Committee is on page 52. I read thus. In compliance with the provision of Section 404, Subsection 4 of Company and Allied Matters Act 2020, we, the members of the Statutory Audit Committee of Berger Paint Nigeria PLC have carried out our statutory function under the Act, hereby report that 1. The scope and planning of both external and internal control programs for the year ended 31st December 2021 were adequate in our opinion. 2, the accounting and reporting policies of the company conform to statutory requirements and agreed ethical practices. 3, the system of internal control were constantly and effectively monitored. 4, having reviewed the external auditor's findings and recommendations on management matters, we are satisfied with the management's response thereon. Finally, we acknowledge the cooperation of management in the conduct of our duties. The members of the Audit Committee for the year 2021 financial year were as follows. Mrs. Mary Shofalahojoke, Mr. Taiwo Afinju, Mrs. Ogechi Ihanacho, Mr. Victor Olusegun Adeniji. He retired at the course of, or he resigned at the course of our the last year. The company secretary stroke legal advisor, Mr. Ayokunle Ayoku, served as the statutory secretary to the committee. Signed March 23rd, 2022 by my very self, A.K. Chibuzo Emmanuel. Thank you.
Thank you. Finally, I call on the representative of Messrs. DCSL Professional Services, Mrs. Anne Agbo, to present the 2021 Board Appraisal Report. The report is on page 51 of the Annual Report on Accounts. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed shareholders, board members. My name is Anne Agbo. The report of the external consultants on the performance evaluation of the Board of Directors of Berger Paints Nigeria PLC for the year ended December 31st, 2021. DCSL Corporate Services Limited was engaged by Berger Paints Nigeria PLC to carry out a performance evaluation of the Board of Directors for the year ended December 31st, 2021, in line with the provisions of the Nigerian Code of Corporate Governance 2018 and the Securities and Exchange Commission's Corporate Governance Guidelines and Companies and Allied Matters Act 2021, as well as global best practices in corporate governance. The appraisal entailed a review of the company's corporate and statutory documents, minutes of board and committee meetings, policies, and other ancillary documents made available to us, and the administration of questionnaires to directors. To ascertain the extent of compliance with relevant corporate governance principles and appraise the performance of the board, we benchmarked the company's corporate governance structures, policies, and processes against the above-mentioned codes and regulations, as well as global best practices, and considered the following 7 key corporate governance themes. 1, board structure and composition. 2, strategy and planning. 3, board operations and effectiveness. 4, measuring and monitoring performance. 5, risk management and compliance. 6, corporate citizenship. And 7, transparency and disclosure. The board has the responsibility for putting in place adequate corporate governance structures and practices and approving policies that will ensure the company carries on its business in accordance with its memorandum and articles of association, as well as in conformity with applicable laws, codes, and regulations to guarantee sustainability. Upon the conclusion of the performance evaluation of the board, we confirmed that the board and company substantially complied with the provisions of the NCCG, the SCGG, and other applicable regulations. Details of our key findings and recommendations are contained in the comprehensive report. The report is signed on behalf of DCSL by the Managing Director, BC Adeyemi. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I'd like to take this opportunity to acknowledge and welcome the representative of Sir Saniwosu, Mr. Obinna Wosu. Thank you. You're welcome. We have now come to the main business of the meeting. Please note that in line with the guidelines for convening this meeting, voting for all resolutions, except the resolution for the Statutory Audit Committee elections, shall be by poll, in line with sections 248 to 254 of CAMA 2020. The first item on the agenda is to receive the audited financial statements of the company for the year ended December 31st, 2021, and the reports of the directors, auditors, and external consultants on the board appraisal and audit committee thereon. The reports and accounts have been circulated to all members in compliance with statutory requirements. Under the provisions of CAMA 2020, I hereby lay before you, on behalf of the Board of Directors, the company's audited financial statements for the year ended December 2021, together with the aforementioned reports. Your comments and questions on the reports are hereby welcome. Thank you. Chief Adesina.
Good morning, Chairman, members of the erudite board of directors. I say good morning. Morning to all members present here and those who are watching us online. My name is Chief Timothy Adesina, the immediate past president of Nigerian Shareholders Solidarity Association. Thank you very much. Thank you. I appreciate the efforts of the staff, board, and management of Berger Paints in achieving the results we are considering today. The first thing I notice on this annual report is that it is presented as an advert material for other companies to use in printing their annual reports. It is beautiful, it is legible, and the disclosures there are superb. Please give them a hand of applause. Thank you very much. I also appreciate the fact that this company has a reputation which it has built over the years. And I will refer you to page 6 of this annual report. On page 6 of this annual report, you will see that Berger Paints is the first paint manufacturer to be established in Nigeria. Those days before Berger Paints came, paints used to be imported into Nigeria. And even for some years, when Berger Paints came in, they used to import these paints in cans until they eventually started to make the paints themselves. And also, it is also the first paint company to be quoted on the Nigerian Stock Exchange. This company being quoted on the Nigerian Stock Exchange does not just come by accident. It was with some problems, because at that time, a legislation was made that all companies must be quoted on the Nigerian Stock Exchange. And Berger Paints was asked to sell shares to Nigerians at the price of 50 kobo per share. But because the thing did not happen in time, they were penalized. And the shares which were to be sold at 50 kobo per share, they were asked to sell them at the price of 35 kobo. 35 kobo per share, losing immediately at a price, an amount of 15 kobo per share. That's how Berger Paints came into the Nigerian Stock Exchange. And it is also the first paint researcher to introduce textured coating, named Texcoat, to the Nigeria market. The Texcoat product was unique at that time, and the company continues to improve on it until today. You will agree with me that Berger Paints is the best producer of paints in Nigeria. Thank you very much. And also, I will like to refer you to the financial highlights of the company, which is on page 5. On page 5, you will see that revenue for this year is 4,964,796 as against 3,837 naira 1,582 in the previous year. This is a growth of 29%, despite the competition in the market, because the paint industry is now highly competitive, and we are appreciating the board, staff, and management of Berger Paints for standing firm in the industry and retaining their good names. We, at this time, also thank them for growing our profit by 12% over last year. Out of this 12% growth, they are able to give us a dividend of 40 kobo, which is payable even today. And I'm sure our registrars, Mr. Smedistrom, who we are already used to, has been very active and agile, always to perform their duty of paying us on time. These dividends will roll in today. Thank you, board staff and management. Also, the operating profit rose by 2%. And this profit gave us a dividend of 40 kobo, which is payable to all shareholders on the register of our company. The basic honey last year was 50 kobo. It came down to 47 kobo this year, reduced by 7%, and that's, despite it, the company is still able to pay us a dividend as they paid us in the previous year, and that is 40 kobo. We thank them also for this one. I will, at this point, ask some questions, and that is on page 80, on page 89, note 9. On page 89, you will see expenses by nature. Most of our expenses were listed there, and I'm happy to comment that the expenses in this column are prudently expended, and we are happy with the administration of this company. I'm, however, concerned with the 5 million increase in the auditor's remuneration. It was 18 million last year, and this year it is 23 million. I don't know why this increase has been so high within this kind of period. And also, distribution expenses rose from 158 million in the previous year to 196.495 this year. All the other indices of the company are positive, and we thank the board, staff, and management for your corporate governance activities, that you have been able to put risk management into very high consideration, and all the meetings which were planned to be held in the year were held, and the dates of the meetings were actually stated. All the relative actions were also well attended to. I, however, have a question, and that is on page 22, note 92. And that is that Article 51 be amended by creation of a new sub-Article 51C to read as follows. The annual reports and accounts and / or other reports, documents, and information relating to any business to be transacted at a general meeting of the company may be distributed or circulated electronically to members and persons entitled to receive them. Please, we as shareholders will like to have hard copies because many people don't have laptops, and even when you have laptops, you may not have generators. And we don't know whether Berger Paints will provide this for all of us shareholders. So please take note of this. We appreciate the efforts of the company so far. You have assisted the company in your CSR, as enunciated on page 56. You assisted the Red Cross Society Health Care Center admin block, which you repaired at a cost of almost 900,000, which you repainted almost at a price of 900,000 naira, and also on your quality education maintenance. You visited the Heart of Gold Children Hospital, where you gave them food worth about 500,000 naira. I will at this stage advise that in future, when the company wants to give this kind of schools food items like this, you better commit it to making something tangible, something which people can see on the site of the school. Most of the time, if you visit this school with the products you bring, if you listen, you will hear these children saying, don't bring food to them. It's the teachers that will take them home. They will share it. They won't give us to eat. And this is what happens. Please try and do some other things in this way. I also will talk on the secretariat. Our secretariat has been improved tremendously, maybe within the past 1-2 years, or since the new man, Mr. Ayoko, has just come. But we are advising that we empower the secretariat more, because they are the bridge between you, the company, and shareholders. And if you don't treat shareholders well, I wonder what opinion shareholders will have about the company. And I'm surprised that while the external reporter on the management, from the report of the management consultant, I would have suggested an item number 8 on the external consultant's report that she put it there as communication with shareholders. It is very important so that we start to hear or you start to make impressions on them on how they should be treating issues affecting shareholders. Thank you. God bless you all.
Thank you very much. At this point, I'd like to acknowledge the presence of Mr. John Achille, the Security and Exchange Commission representative. Thank you. You're welcome, sir. Can I get comments from Mrs. Bakari? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, Board of Directors, regulatory authorities here present this morning, my co-shareholders, good morning. My name is Mrs. Bisi Bakari, National Coordinator of Pragmatic Shareholders Association of Nigeria. Mr. Chairman, I'm not going to take much of your time this morning because this annual report and account we have this morning is so detailed, especially the chairman's statement. Almost everything we want is on your statement, but I will only advise our CEO, either a certain capacity or not. Next time, let us have CEO's statements. From your own statement too, we can grab one or two things. Like I said earlier, that the report is so detailed, and I'm going to commend the company secretary and his team for that. Having said that, the account we are considering this morning is a very good account. Because looking at the account, despite that our PAT and PBT declined during the year under review, but I can see that the account is not that bad. Having said that, and again, Mr. Chairman, I believe there is still room for improvement. We can still do better. On that note, I will go to page 65 of annual report and accounts, where we have trade and other receivables. I noticed that our trade and other receivables, though it declined, it was 317.4 million last year, and this has reduced to 305.5 million during the year under consideration. But, sir, I think we can still do better by trying as much as possible to reduce the amount to the minimum. Likewise, our trade payables, I want the management to look at it. Page 6. Oh, sorry, Chief Adeshina, I've talked about that. But despite that, I think I need to commend our company, especially our board, that despite that our basic earnings reduced, even declined by 7%, you give us the same dividend you approved for us last year is what you are giving to us, 40 kobo. We really appreciate it. Page 65, where we have repayment of principal of loan and borrowings. I want to ask that, could you please tell us updates on our loans? Let us know how far we have gone about our loan, how much have we paid, and how much we are left with. Page 89, note 9A. Page 89, note 9A, expenses. For me, I don't have much problem with our expenses because we are all aware of what is going on in the country. But my concerns goes to directors' emoluments and personnel expenses. I noticed on this page that our directors' emoluments moved from 56.9 million to 87.394 million. So I'm worried why our personnel expenses now declined from 718.1 million to 686 million. So why? We need to take care of our staff.
the cake we are baking today, the dividend we are talking about, if not for the management that they work from Monday to Friday, even some of them comes to the office on Saturday, will not have opportunity to have this type of account. So I'm appealing to the board that they should, as they are increasing their own emoluments, they should think of the management as also, especially the junior staff. Please, I'm appealing to you. That is on that. Then I have 3 questions for the chairman. My first question is, in view of high cost of doing business in Nigeria, vis-a-vis high cost of diesel, rise foreign exchange rate, and double taxation in this country, what is our company or as a board doing to sustain our operations? 2, what are we doing to checkmate the adulteration of paint products in this country? And lastly, what is the management focus and strategies for year 2022 going forward? Once again, thank you very much for the opportunity given to me, and I wish every one of us journey mercy back to our various destinations.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Berger. Now I'd like to call on Nobina Osu, Representative of Sasani Osu. Thank you.
Good morning, Berger Paint family. My name is Obina Osu. I'm here to represent my dad. So, what I really have to say is, I'm a member of Berger Paint. I'm a family of Berger Paint. I'm a product of Berger Paint. I worked in Berger Paint I worked here for about 3-4 years. So I know a lot about Berger Paint. So to crown it up, I always say congratulations to Berger Paint. I will always give my support anytime, any day. Thank you.
Thank you. Purely from a selfish point of view, I will say that make sure he's always a proxy. That's brevity and to the point. You're a member of the family. Thank you. You're welcome. My great comrade. Thank you.
Good morning. All protocol duly observed. I'm Comrade Lawrence Oguntoye. I'm glad to appreciate the board and management in spite of macroeconomic pressure, regulatory headwinds, cost of foreign exchange. You are able to present excellent results. Much has been said as regards the financial indices, which is positive. I want to give you kudos in regard. Although the issue of COVID-19 that has affected the operation is no more story, but it's just an instrument to energize the board and management to put the necessary instruments in place so as to gear up our operations. But before I go further, I cannot but to appreciate the board and management in regard of the consistency as regard the dividend payments, which is excellent and encouraging, at the round figure of 40 kobo at this difficult terrain. As we all know that the dollars has rose tremendously to 600 naira plus, if I'm right, per $1. So we all understand the logic behind this. So in spite of this difficult terrain, you are able to present to us 40 kobo dividend. We want to say very big thanks to you. To the board, I noticed in annual report that I noticed strange faces. I was here last year as a particular, thank you, that's a particular woman in charge of, as a CFO, which the board introduced to us. But when I got through the annual report, I observed that she has resigned. And also, I observed that the other senior directors also resigned. And this is worrisome. And this is giving me a psychological reason. I noticed a new CFO name and the new faces in our annual reports, as I've mentioned. I want the board to note that the employee satisfaction is the key to company success, and staff should be treated like international level as against our competitors, so as to safeguard the bottom line, that is the positive sustainability and profitability. It was as if my able sister knew what I intend to present to you, because I want the board and management, that's Mrs. Bisi Bakari, to value staff that bake this cake. She made mention of such. And I want to join her that the board and management should please value staff, because they are the one that bake this cake. A lot of things is happening. Competitors may entice them with the robust salary, and if they are not being taken care of, we're going to miss talented, proactive, effective, energetic staff, and this will affect our profitability. So I want the board and management to please look into this angle critically. And at the same time, using this medium to celebrate Mr. Adeyemi Adetomiwa, that's the acting MD / CEO of our reputable company. But board and management, there is no time to waste. When I go through the annual report, I could see that this Mr. Adeyemi has an envious profile. And also he has a wealth of experience, has been a seasoned professional according to the annual report statements. So I want to beseech the board. I want to beseech the board, because there is no time to waste, to make hay where the sun shines. As I want to recommend him to be a substantive MD. We have a long way to go. I know that you have a lot of things that you are planning, but according to what you stated, I thought he deserved to be a substantive MD, so that we're able to focus, to maximize his strategy in the interest of our company. Mr. Onyebuchi Roberts, that's a new CFO, having gone through the annual reports, I could see that it's coming to add an intrinsic value to our company as well. We'll be waiting for your magic wand. And I know that you're going to do such at this difficult terrain. Is that a promise? We'll be watching you. Thank you for coming. When I got to the annual report, I was with my colleagues, because I came all the way from Ibadan. We had a meeting. We close to like 70 in number, and we are deliberating as regards the forthcoming of this wonderful company, that is Berger Paints. And we are deliberating on the issue of a cancellation of on issue share, that they were clamoring for it, that it should be should be resorted to bonus. But as an expert in this field, I was opportune to educate them. And I told them the negative effect if it happens. Because point number one is that it's going to drop the price. It won't really favor the shareholder, neither the company. So I try to sensitize them, to educate them the more. Although in this area, I would like to appreciate Mr. Ayo. He's an intelligent man, very proactive. When it comes to sensitive matter this way, I don't know how he managed to treat it with the shareholder, despite the fact that he has a lot of things on his table. I would sincerely want to appreciate him in that regard. That's Mr. Ayo. So we really appreciate you. So I was able to educate my people in this regard that what we need to do this time around is to support them to cancel this. That's on this issue of the 5,176,552. We will give you maximum support in this regard. And I want to beseech, I want to appeal to the shareholders that are watching us live to kindly support us. As I want to beseech the shareholders in the house as well to support the management for this cancellation. Director attendance is impressive. Kudos to them. Board evaluation, that's according to what my sister me mentioned, that's representative for DCSL. I could say that it's transparency. And as regard the corporate governance, it's awesome. Thank you for that. When I got to the annual report, my sister me mentioned of issue of loan and borrowing. Though it was reduced tremendously, we want lights as regard that, but being reduced, I still want to commend the board for being proactive, and if not being proactive, the loan wouldn't have reduced. We all understand that we had a difficult terrain. We've been to a series of a meeting whereby loans are unable to be what? To be reduced, but getting increased by the interest. But from your angle, due to your activeness, you are able to reduce it. We want to appreciate it. I want to appreciate the risk management. I observed something as a professional in this annual report. They perform excellently in regard of their techniques, which is very sensitive as against the economic pressure. They perform. So I want to appreciate them, and they should keep it up. They should keep it up. I want to appreciate our able and amiable chairman in regard of his wisdom and mutual relationship to manage our company. May you work stronger in wisdom and understanding. My sincere regards to the entire board and directors, proactive, unrelenting staff as well, that big this scale. I want to say thank you. To Mr. Adeyemi Adetomiwa, as regards my comments, my recommendations, I will be glad if the board will subscribe to that. And I want to say that you have an audience task ahead so as to increase the level of our sustainability and profitability the more. Though I believe in your wealth of experience, and I'm quite sure that you will perform magic one this time around. May the Lord grant you wisdom and understanding to perform exceedingly. To my able CS, a very proactive man, intelligent, dedicated, and accessible, may the Lord guide you and expand you to perform beyond expectation. Amen. I have just 2 questions before I submit. That's in the area of loans, that's a borrowing. I observed that we have intentions to borrow money. so as to gear up our operation the more, which is very nice. But my question is what are the necessary measures being taken against our debtors? Number two, how do we survive at these macroeconomic challenges, regulatory headwind, and cost of foreign exchange? From our angle as a shareholder, we promise to create a robust relationship from the pool of our professionalism in regard of the company's sustainability and profitability. On the final note, I want to say congratulations to the Berger Paints. Congratulations to the eminent shareholders. While I wish every one of us safe journey to our respective home, thank you for the opportunity. God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you for the comments. We accept the commendations. We accept the guidance. And we know you care for the company and you have ably represented shareholders not able to attend at this meeting. I'll just like to take one or two of the questions and then the AMD would look at that. I noted the concern about the auditor's remuneration. It's not quite as it seems. Actually, we have a very good relationship with our auditors and they work with us. I don't know, some of you may recall that in 2019, the actual rate was 21 million. And to show how robust we look after the interests of the company, 2020 was a very difficult year. With all the lost sales and everything, we actually obviously had less activity than a full year. So we actually negotiated with them and we actually only paid 18 million for 2020. So that was a drop. So really we actually haven't reviewed for 3-4 years for them. And obviously as last year was full activity, we do that. And I think we would like to extend our appreciation to the auditors. Even though it's a business relationship, it's also a partnership. And it's very important in all of these that we work as best as we can. Thank you. Just one or two things directly I can touch on as well. Thank you, Mrs. Berger, on the Directors' Emoluments. Perhaps you don't recall that last year the shareholders kindly approved retirement for the 3 directors who left last year. So if you took off that retirement benefit, I think you will find that despite even the increased workload, the directors' remuneration was flat, which given the inflation last year means we actually took a drop in our earnings in real terms. But that notwithstanding, we thank you for pointing that to us. Also, you mentioned on the staff, and I know Comrade mentioned as well on that. Welfare of our staff is a priority here, obviously, as we think that. And I think sometimes numbers can be misleading. As part of our activities to always reposition the company, we adapt to the changing environment, we adapt to the changing circumstances. Our strategy is dynamic, and part of that, so we adjust where required. If you notice, it's buried in the annual report. I know there's a lot of information, but we actually restructured due to strategic imperatives, and 20 of our employees left us. So if you look at that, then you will find that we actually have compensated our staff. We understand the importance of people, and we'll look at that. Thank you. We also electronic circulation of documents. Most of our resolutions today are to bring the company up to date with the changing environment. As a company that adheres strictly to corporate governance, even over and beyond, it is very important that our framework documents are up to date, they are in tune with what we need to do. Sir, Chief, the electronic circulation of documents, as we have always promised here, it is hybrid. We continue to provide hard copies just like you have in your hand, but we want to make sure that our regulations, our memos, our articles and everything speak and give us the authority to be able to do the electronics in tandem with it. So that's what most of the resolutions are about, and it applies to the questions on borrowing and everything. Make it up to date, because what we need to do, we don't have many opportunities to confer with you as our shareholders, representatives, and we want to get the authority that some of the things we're going to do. So it's not that there's borrowing imminent. We just want to make sure time changes a lot of things, and that's one of the things we looked at. Thank you. We note your comments on the changes. The pandemic has made a lot of change possible. People have a much more dynamic and flexible approach to work. People move a lot more now these days. In fact, I think the phrase is, they're calling it the Great Resignation. That's what's happening globally. People are actually reassessing their lives and what they want to do and what fulfillment they get out of it. We support all our staff, they're members of the family, and we don't stand in the way of opportunity if it does arise. But what we do is always try to strive to make this a great place to work, and we're fully confident that with the empathy we show and the understanding, this is something we are always on top of. So that is what we needed to say on that. All our strategies are in place, as always, and we look at all the issues, whether it's adulteration, whether it's whatever, we're always changing. One thing I like to remind people is that the industry we're in, our customer preferences change over time. And when they change, we as a business have to move with those changes. The taste changes, the sort of coatings people want changes. I think I perfectly recall when texture coating, like Chief mentioned, was our #1 seller in this company. It fell off dramatically. People moved away from that, and as a company, we have to be able to meet and adapt to that. So in concluding, I will say that we thank you for all the comments. We note, and just like all the other comments, wherever they may come from, and even the management letter from the auditors and everything, we take it on board. We will implement to the best of our abilities. And I thank you for the concern and for your company and your good advice, and we'll thank you on that. Thank you very much. Having answered your questions, we now commence the moving of the resolutions. May I request that a shareholder please move the motion that the reports of the directors, auditors, board appraisers, and audit committee, together with the audited accounts for the financial year ended December 31st, 2021, now submitted to this meeting, be and are hereby received. Thank you very much. Will another member please second the motion? Thank you, Barry. I shall now call on the registrars to conduct the voting by poll.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We will now vote for the resolutions. For the first resolution called, I guess you all have your devices. So if you are voting for the resolution, you just press 1A. If you are voting against, you press 2B. For the resolution, you press 1A. Once I say voting starts, that is when you press. So for the first resolution, voting starts now. You can go ahead and vote. Okay, we have the result. For resolution 1, to receive the 2021 audited accounts, we have a total of 162 shareholders voting, having 97,935,543 units of Berger paint. This resolution received 100% vote. Voting for the resolution, there is no vote against. Thank you.
I declare that the motion has been carried unanimously. Distinguished shareholders, we now move to the next item, which is the declaration of a dividend for the year ended 2021. The board is recommending for your approval the sum of 115,929,379 naira as a dividend. This works out at the rate of 40 kobo per share, which is the same dividend paid in the previous financial year. If the shareholders approve the recommendation, the dividend will be paid electronically on or before May 20th, 2022, less withholding tax, to shareholders whose names appear on our company's register of members as at the close of business on April 21st, 2022, who have completed the e-dividend registration and mandated the registrars to pay their dividends directly into their bank. Can a shareholder please move the motion that a dividend payment in the total sum of 115,929,379 naira only, which translates to 40 kobo per each 50 kobo ordinary share of the company held, subject to withholding tax, to shareholders whose names appear on the company's register of members as at the close of business on April 21st, 2022, be hereby approved.
I so move.
Thank you. Will another member please second the motion?
So hereby second the motion.
I shall now call on the registrars to conduct the voting by poll.
Distinguished shareholders, as earlier explained, you press 1A for the resolution and 2B if you are against the resolution. For the next resolution, voting starts now. Please go ahead and vote. Okay, we have the results. For the resolution to declare a dividend of 40 kobo per share, we have 162 shareholders voting, having 97,935,543 units of Berger paint. This resolution also received 100% voting for the resolution. There is no vote against, and there is no abstention. Thank you.
I declare that the motion has been carried unanimously. The next item on the agenda is the re-election of retiring directors. Distinguished shareholders, the retiring directors are Mr. Raj Mangtani and Mrs. Okechi Iheanacho. Being eligible, they are offering themselves for re-election by the provisions of KAMA 2020. We will take them as individual resolutions. Can a member please move the motion that Mr. Raj Mangtani, who having retired by rotation, being eligible and having offered himself for re-election, be duly re-elected? Thank you. Will the members please second the motion? Thank you. The second, additionally, can a member please move the motion that Mrs. Okechi Iheanacho, who having retired by rotation, being eligible and having offered herself for re-election, be duly re-elected?
I move. Comrade Lawrence.
Will a member please second the motion? Thank you very much. I shall now call on the registrars to conduct the vote by poll and give us the results.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As earlier explained, distinguished shareholders, press 1A for the resolution and 2B if you are against this resolution. Voting starts now. We have the results to elect the directors. We have 162 shareholders voting, having 97,935,543 units of Berger paint. The resolution received 100% voting for the resolution, and there is no vote against, no abstention. Thank you.
I declare that the motion has been carried unanimously. Distinguished shareholders, the next item on the agenda is to authorize the directors to fix the remuneration of the external auditors. Messrs. KPMG Professional Services, having indicated their willingness, will continue as external auditors of the company without any resolution being passed. However, it is necessary that the directors be authorized by members at this annual general meeting to fix their remuneration. Can a member please move the motion that the remuneration and expenses of the company's external auditor, Mrs. KPMG, be fixed by the directors in respect of the period ending at the end of the next general meeting, pursuant to Section 408, subsection 1B of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Mrs. Berger at DBC. I so move.
Would another member please second the motion? Thank you. I hereby call on the registrars to conduct the votes by poll and give us the results.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the next resolution, we are ready to vote. Press 1A if you are for the resolution and 2B if you are against this resolution. Voting starts now. We have the results. The resolution to authorize directors to fix the remuneration of the auditors. We have 162 shareholders voting, having 97,935,543 units of Berger paints. All the shareholders voted for the resolution. There is no vote against and there is no abstention. Thank you.
I declare that the motion has been carried unanimously. Sections 257 and 238 of CAMA 2020 make provision for the disclosure of the remuneration of the managers of the business. Section 257 of CAMA 2020 provides that the compensation for the managers of the business must be disclosed to members at the general meeting. The remuneration for the managers of the business for the 2021 financial year is as disclosed on page 27 of the annual report. No resolution is required to be taken on this item. Thank you. We now move to election of members of the Audit Committee. Section 404 of CAMA provides for the setting up of an audit committee consisting of an equal number of directors and representatives of the shareholders, subject to a maximum of 5 members, who shall examine the auditor's report and make recommendations to the annual general meeting. The Board of Directors, in compliance with CAMA 2020, has chosen 2 directors, Mrs. Ogechi Ehenacho and Mr. Kunle Olowokonde, as members of the Audit Committee. Section 404, subsection 6 of CAMA further stipulates that any member may nominate another shareholder as a member of the Audit Committee by giving notice of such nomination at least 21 days before the AGM. As of the close of business on April 28, 2022, 3 nominations were received for election into the Audit Committee. The names of the nominees and those that nominated them have been verified with our registrars. We will now go through the process of electing the statutory Audit Committee members for the 2022 financial year. This resolution will be by show of hands, as Section 249, subsection 3 of CAMA 2020 prohibits shareholders from demanding a poll on the election of Audit Committee members. As I call the names of the nominees, please stand up and identify yourself. Your nominees for membership of the Statutory Audit Committee are Mrs. Mary Joke Shofolaho, nominated by Wosu Kenneth. Mr. Chibuzo Eke, nominated by Tijani Mukadam. Mr. Taiwo Afiju, nominated by Ibrude Moses. Having listed your nominees to the Statutory Audit Committee unopposed, I will now call on a member to propose the following resolution: that pursuant to Section 404, subsection 3 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020, an audit committee of the company be and is hereby appointed with effect from today, May 19, 2022, until the conclusion of the next annual general meeting. The following are to constitute the membership of the committee. Directors, Mr. Ogechi Ehenacho and Mr. Kunle Olowokonde. Olowokonde, sorry, my bad. I was getting ahead of myself. Shareholders, Mrs. Mary Joke Shofalaho, Mr. Chibuzo Eke, and Mr. Taiwo Afinju. Can somebody move that motion, please? Will another member please second the motion?
I second the motion, Mrs. Bisi Bakari.
Thank you. I will now put the motion to the meeting. Will the proxies in favor of the motion, in that myself, please signify by raising their right hands for Mr. Kunle Lowokonde. Chief Timothy Adesina, Mrs. Bisi Bakari, Sir Sonny Wosu, and Mr. Lawrence Ogutoye. Will those against the motion please signify by raising their hands? I declare that the motion has been carried unanimously. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Congratulations. The next item is a special business. Pursuant to the rules governing transactions with related parties or interested persons by the Nigerian Exchange Limited, it is proposed that an ordinary resolution be passed which will grant your company the authority to enter into recurrent related party transactions. In view of this, can a member please move the motion that the general mandate given to the company to enter into recurrent transactions with related parties for the company's day-to-day operations, including amongst others the procurement of goods and services on normal commercial terms, be and is hereby renewed.
I, Comrade Lawrence Ogutoye, hereby move.
Somebody second?
Hi, Chief Timothy Adesina, so second.
I shall now call on the registrars to conduct the votes by poll and give us the results.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Distinguished shareholders, as earlier explained, you press 1A if you are voting for the resolution and 2B if you are voting against the resolution. Voting starts now. Okay, we have the result. For the resolution to approve the renewal of a general mandate on recurring related party transactions, we have 162 shareholders voting, having 97,935,543 units of Berger paint. The resolution received 100% vote. Voting for the resolution, there is no vote against and there is no abstention. Thank you.
I declare that the motion has been carried unanimously. Dear members, the next item is a special resolution for the reduction in share capital. Can a member move the motion that pursuant to Section 131 and other applicable provisions, if any, of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020, Section 13 of the Companies Regulations 2021, and Article 47 of the Articles of Association of the company, that the authorized share capital of the company be and is hereby reduced from 400 million naira only, divided into 800 million ordinary shares of 50 kobo each, to 144,911,724 naira, divided into 289,823,448 ordinary shares of 50 kobo each, by cancelling 510,176,552 ordinary shares of 50 kobo each, which have not been issued. Can somebody move the motion?
Hi, Chief Timothy Adesina, so moves.
Mrs. Bakari Adebisi, I so second.
Thank you very much. Additionally, can another member move the motion that pursuant to Section 124 of CAMA, the company be and is hereby authorized to take all steps necessary to ensure that the memorandum and articles of association of the company are altered to comply with the Resolution 9, Section 1 above, including replacing the provisions on the authorized share capital with the issued share capital, including but not limited to Clause 6 of the Memorandum of Association of the company, which shall be amended and substituted with the following: The share capital of the company is 144,911,724 naira, divided into 289,823,448 ordinary shares of 50 kobo each.
My name is Mrs. Bakari Adebisi. I so move.
Somebody second.
I, Comrade Lawrence, hereby second.
Thank you. Finally, can a member move the motion that the board and management is hereby authorized to perform all acts and to do all such other things as may be necessary for or incidental to given effects to resolutions 8.1 and 8.2 above, including but not limited to execute agreements, appoint consultants and advisors, and comply with the directives of the regulatory authorities and government bodies?
Obina also. I so move.
Mrs. Bakari Adebisi. I so second.
Thank you very much. I shall now call on the registrars to conduct the votes by poll and give us the results.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Distinguished shareholders, we are voting for the next resolution. Press 1A for the resolution and 2B if you are against the resolution. Voting starts now. For this resolution, we receive 162 shareholders voting, having 97,935,543 units of Berger paints. They all voted for the resolution. There is no vote against and there is no abstention. Thank you.
I declare that the motion has been carried unanimously. Dear members, the next item is a special resolution for the amendment of the Articles of Association of the company. Can a member move the motion that Article 48 be reworded as follows? The company shall in each calendar year hold a general meeting as its annual general meeting, in addition to any other meetings in that year, and shall specify the meeting as such in the notice calling it. And not more than 15 months shall elapse between the date of one annual general meeting of the company and that of the next. The annual general meeting shall be held at such place and time as the directors shall appoint. The company may hold a virtual, hybrid, which is a combination of virtual and limited physical presence, or a proxy general meeting, where it will be impossible to hold a normal general meeting due to government laws, policies, regulations, pandemic, or other related reasons. Can somebody move the motion, please?
I hereby move the motion.
Somebody second?
Mrs. Bakari Adebisi. I second the motion.
Thank you very much. Can another member move the motion that Article 51 be amended by the creation of a new sub-article 51 subsection C to read as follows, subsection C. The annual reports and accounts and the other reports, documents, and information relating to any business to be transacted at a general meeting of the company. The annual report may be distributed or circulated electronically to members and persons entitled to receive them. Can somebody move the motion, please?
I hereby move the motion, Mr. Chairman. Bakari Adebisi.
Thank you. Could somebody second, please?
I, Comrade Lawrence, hereby second.
Thank you very much. Can another member move the motion that Article 53 be reworded to read as follows? All businesses transacted at annual general meetings are deemed special business except declaring a dividend, presentation of the financial statements, and the reports of the directors and auditors, the election of directors in the place of those retiring, the appointment, fixing of the remuneration of the auditors, appointment of members of the audit committee, and disclosure of remuneration of managers of the company, which are ordinary business. Can somebody move the motion, please?
I move the motion. Obina also.
Will another member please second the motion?
I second the motion, Comrade Lawrence.
Thank you. Additionally, can another member move the motion that Article 80 be rewarded to read as follows? The directors may exercise all the powers of the company to borrow money and to mortgage or charge its undertaking, property and uncalled capital, or any part thereof, and to issue debentures, debenture stock and other securities, whether outright or as security for any debt, liability or obligation of the company or any third party. Provided that the amount for the time being remaining undischarged of money borrowed or secured by or on behalf of the company, apart from temporary loans obtained from the company's backers in the ordinary course of business, shall not at any time exceed 500 million naira, except with the approval of the general meeting. Can somebody move the motion, please?
I hereby move the motion. Obina Wosu.
Can somebody second, please?
Bakari Adebisi, I second.
Thank you very much. Finally, can a member move the motion that the board and management is hereby authorized to perform all acts and do all such other things as may be necessary for or incidental to give an effect to resolutions 9.1 to 9.4 above? Can somebody move the motion, please?
I, Chief Timothy Adesina, so move.
Can somebody second, please?
Mrs. Bakari Adebisi, I second the motion.
I shall now call on the registrars to conduct the votes by poll and give us the results.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Distinguished shareholders, for this resolution, you press 1A if you are voting for the resolution and 2B if you are against the resolution. Voting starts now. We have the result. For resolution 9, to amend articles of association of the company, we have 162 shareholders voting, having 97,935,543 units of Berger paints. This resolution received 100% vote. Voting for the resolution, there is no vote against and there is no abstention. Thank you.
I declare that the motion has been carried unanimously. Distinguished shareholders, as there is no other business for which due statutory notice was given, I thank you all for attending and taking part in the affairs of our company. I thank you for your patience. We had a lot of resolutions today, and we thank you for all that, your cooperation. I hereby declare the 62nd Annual General Meeting of our company closed. Thank you.